afternoon, everyone. Welcome to GSS Score. This is Ajesh, and today we have Arnayak Saika with us, who is a very talented person, very talented man, and he has secured All India rank 59 in UPSC 2019. By qualification, he did his graduation from St. Stephens and then MPhil from Delhi School of Economics. He is already an IPS officer. He is a serving IPS officer, and despite of being an IPS officer, he has cracked UPSC for IAS, and now he is all set to become an IAS officer. So, Arnayak, many congratulations, and welcome to GSS Score.
Thank you so much, sir. It's always a pleasure to be here, and I hope I'll be of some help to the new aspirants who will be appearing in this exam, sir.
Fine. So, Arnayak, your track record is quite a successful track record. First St. Stephens, then Delhi School of Economics, then IPS, then again IAS. I hope now you have got nirvana, moksha, everything, the liberation from this journey of UPSC. So, what's your source of motivation for so much consistent success, Arnayak?
Sir, it's difficult to say actually. It was. I think most people would agree that UPSC exam is kind of addictive. You tend to keep on appearing for it till you get a particular rank, and that's what happened with me as well. I think every time I was not being able to score, I was not being able to get a rank. I kept on trying. And in the process, it was a very good and interesting journey. It was a very good learning experience for me, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Anna, can you just narrate us your entire incident of UPSC right from childhood and all, and what made you to enter into the services? And now just a request, little louder, fine? Little
yes,
voice,
sir.
Little louder, yeah, please.
Yeah, sir. I had no plans of appearing in UPSC ever till I think I was till 2016 when I was doing my masters. So then I had planned on going abroad for my further studies, especially in academia, and to do a PhD abroad. But for some reason, I could not go abroad. My parents felt that I should stay in the country. And so I decided that I should, maybe one of the next best options that I have maybe was UPSC. So 2016 June, around somewhere in the middle of 2016, I finally decided that I would appear. And I thought that I'll appear into 2017 exam. But because my masters were going on, so it was kind of very hectic. So I really could not start my preparation before before the end of the year. So somewhere around November 2016, I started my preparation, and in 2017, I appeared for the exam. Because my plan, because I had started pretty late, so my focus initially was on prelims itself. So I focused on prelims, and I worked towards scoring a good mark in prelims. And accordingly, I got a very good score, actually around 139 or something in prelims. So that really helped. And then I focused on mains after that. So after knowing that I'll be clearing prelims, I then started focusing on my mains exam. And in those 3 months that I got between prelims and mains, I started preparing for mains, appeared in the mains, but the preparation was not that good. Even then, I managed to got through the interview. And interview, I got a relatively good marks. As a result of which, I got a very good rank, 148 that year. And by virtue of that rank, I got into Indian Police Service. Then again in 2018, I appeared in the exam. I got a relatively lower rank, 287, and so I thought I had to reorient and re-alter my strategy. So again in 2019, when I appeared, I had to I made a few changes in my strategy. And then, although I wasn't expecting much, because the exam is very unpredictable, and that is something you tend to learn over as you appear in the exam more and more number of times.
And so you have cracked the UPSC 3 times, right?
Yes, sir.
So what was that area which was required, which you made improvement to improve your rank?
Sir, one area was ethics, which I was not able to score well. Especially my first attempt, 2017 attempt, I got 79 in ethics, which was a very low mark. And so that was one paper which I needed to work on. So I really worked on it in 2018, and my marks actually improved to 108 or something I got in 2018. I'm not sure how much I have got this year, because the mark sheet isn't out. But I think I must have scored pretty decent, because otherwise, again, my rank would have fallen. That was one area where I needed to work on. Second area where what happened was in 2017, in my economics optional, I had actually scored 307 out of 500, which was a relatively good score. But 2018, I don't know what happened. I actually put more focus on economics in optional, but still I got 251 out of 500, which is a very bad, relatively bad score. So I again focused on my economics. I tried to reorient my approach to writing answers and so on. So I think that was another area which probably where I have improved. But of course, the mark sheet will tell more about which areas we have improved on.
Okay, so Arnaik, despite of being an IPS officer, you gave the attempt 2 times to get IAS. So what is so fascinating about the job of an IAS?
Sir, it's difficult to say actually. Like I was more like this was my third attempt, and I had made sure that this was my last attempt, in the sense that I had no plans of appearing in the exam again. IPS is a very good service. It is very interesting. You meet so many different types of people, and the job is very challenging. But back in 2018, when I had appeared for a second time, so I had this in mind that maybe I should give another try, even if I'm not even if I don't get it, I should give another try. So that was the only motivation. So I decided, okay, I'll work again and see if I can get it. But once I had completed my mains in 2019, appeared in my mains exam, I had completely kept all my books in the shelf and everything. So I was completely done and dusted with UPSC. So even if I had got a lower rank this time, I would not have appeared in the UPSC exam after this. So it was, and so then I had thought that if I still get it, it will be luck. And so I still think that there's a big element of luck here, and so that is why I've got into it. Fascinated. I'm not that fascinated with IS, just that I kept on appearing, so I got it. And the other thing probably would be that there's more diversity in the work profile, and something that I can relate with, because I'm from an economics background, and some areas that I have worked in or some areas that I have an interest in might be of help or might be of interest in the IAS.
Okay, fine. Anayak, we would like to know something about this economics option, because this year All India ranked to Jatin Kishore. He is also from your college, only Delhi School of Economics, and his option was also economics. So we would like to know about this option and just explain in such a manner that anyone, the person who doesn't know anything about economics, he can also understand what this option is all about.
So Jatin Kishore, interestingly, is my classmate, and we have been the very best of friends right from college. So from Stephens, we studied in Stephens, we studied in D School. So we have been together for so many years. He was also, incidentally, the IES topper, actually. Indian Economic Service, he's got the rank 1.
Rank 1, yeah.
Yes. So he has always been a very brilliant chap. And so for economics optional, I think for someone who wants to start afresh, who has no background, I would suggest that you start with class 11, 12 NCRTs, which are like the basic books to start with. And then once you have done that, I think the books that are usually part of the syllabus.
A little louder, please. Little louder.
Sir, am I audible now, sir?
Yeah, you're audible, please.
Yeah. So some of the books so NCRTs, I think should be the basic starting point, and then the newspaper. Any economics oriented, say, I would suggest Mint would be a very good paper for following the recent trends in the Indian economy, economics related issues, and so on. So I think these two basic stuff you should start with. Then there are certain books that we require as part of the syllabus. So we need to continue with those books and reading those books. If we read those books for 5-6 times, or at least 3-4 times, if we read them, I think one will have a fairly good idea of the subject. And then you need to practice answer writing. So this is a 3-step process. First, you read the NCRTs and the newspaper, then go for the standard set of textbooks, and then you practice answer writing. I think this 3-step would suffice to have a good score in economics optional.
Okay. Arnag, we have seen that toppers, they tend to take any option which is not of their graduation. Fine. So an engineer take political science and all. So do you think that any person like a BTech engineer is a right candidate for this economics option?
If that person has a technical bent of mind, and if he's okay with mathematics, then I think any person can take it. And uh, as compared to other humanities subjects like political science or sociology, economics is slightly different because it's very model oriented. There are certain economic models, and you have to implement them. You have to write answers accordingly. It's more scientific that way. So if someone, so you don't have to write very long answers. It has to be very crisp to the point. Lot of diagrams are there. Lot of there are certain areas where you can use a lot of mathematical equations. So if you are comfortable with these things, and if you have a general knack for the economic issues, then I think you can really and there are two parts to it. The first part is relatively more mathematical and more model oriented. The second part focuses on the Indian economy. So if you so those who are preparing for GS3 would anyway have a very good idea. If we prepare slightly more technically in a technical way for optional 2, economics paper 2, then I think that person can easily score well in the paper.
Okay, so Nayak, interest is a prime factor to choose any of the option. Fine. So if fresher is there and aspirant is there, and if he is having very deep interest in the economics of NCERTs, so is he the right candidate? Means can he say that he is having genuine interest in this economics option?
Yes, I think he can go for it. It just might, because he's starting afresh, it just might take him more time to get to understand the principles or to understand theories. But he's willing to devote that much of time. It will be a very good paper, and because paper 1 is where you can score a lot if you really prepare well, because this is more model oriented. So you write a correct answer, you are most likely to get full marks or relatively high marks. There is no other way to it. So if you can prepare well, I think there's a possibility of scoring a good mark.
Okay, and like nowadays UPSC is so much interested in economics, right, from prelims to paper 3 and all. So what do you think, how does this economics option has helped you in the prelims examination and in the GS paper and including the essay paper?
Sir, one advantage has been that I did not have to prepare specifically for prelims or GS3 economics. So these economics issues or economics models, I did not go through for my prelims preparation or for my GS3 preparation. So that way it really helped because I was already from such a background. So macroeconomic principles or things like what happens if the interest rate rises, will inflation fall or rise, and these little technical bits, these questions do come in the prelims. So I did not have to prepare specifically for that. So
okay,
it does help.
Okay, so it's quite helpful in the other parts of the economics as well, right?
Yeah, and in fact, this year the essay, there was one essay on saying that that topic where if things which benefit one person might not benefit the whole society or something like that. I do not remember. So that question you could bring in a lot of economics principles like the invisible hand and other market principles into writing that answer, and I think that can really add value to your essay.
Okay, fine. Nayak, there is a deterrence factor while the people choose economics, that economics is a very dynamic subject and it changes every year, and every year you have to read something like fresh. So what's your advice on that?
I think if we read a newspaper, like that's what I said, like Mint is one good newspaper. It focuses on economic issues. I think you don't have to worry much about the dynamic nature. Every part of the syllabus in UPSC is dynamic. All the subjects, I think, I don't know about the other optionals, but the GS papers are very dynamic. So this as compared to that level volatility, I think economics is much less volatile. So it's a good paper. I think proper.
There was some interruption in the internet. Can you please repeat this answer?
Yes, sir. So regarding the volatility in the paper, I think economics is much less dynamic or much less volatile as compared to the GS papers. So if you ask me, I think if you just read a good newspaper, say Mint or say Economic Times, I don't think you have to worry much about the changing nature of the subject. The rest, I think it's more or less along very static lines.
Okay. And what is the time duration for completion of this economics optional? Say from perspective of a fresher who is not from this economics background, how much will be the time to complete the syllabus?
Sir, that's a bit difficult to say actually, sir. Uh, for me, sir, I just took 1.5 months, sir, for completing. But because I have already done like economics for the last 5-6 years. But for someone who is starting new, sir, I would say at least you spend 3-4 months in it, sir, at least. I mean, you might have to spend more, but 3-4 months, if you spend rigorously on that subject, I think you'll have a very good understanding. It's not that difficult. The syllabus that we have for UPSC is up to a graduation level syllabus. It's a BA syllabus, so it is not that difficult to complete. And especially for someone who is from technical background, I don't think he'll find it very difficult.
Okay. And can you please suggest some of the standard books in economics option so that the
Yes, sir.
student can get some idea about this?
Yes, sir. So first we have microeconomics. Microeconomics, the basic book is by Ahuja, Advanced Microeconomic Theory. It's a very standard, like a Bible. It has been used for the last 20-30 years. So that is a micro. For macro, there are two books by Freund, which is a foreign writer, and by Ahuja. Then you have for development economics, there is a book by Jingan, ML Jingan, and Third World. I would suggest one should read Third World first, because that gives you a very good understanding of the concepts, and then Jingan to supplement it. Then you have international trade. For international trade, again, Salvatore is the Bible, and I think it should suffice. All the areas would be covered. So these are the main parts of the paper one syllabus, and then we have paper two. Paper two focuses on the Indian economy. So there are two books that people usually refer to. One is by Dattan Sundaram, which I did not refer to. The other book is by Uma Kapila. Now Uma Kapila has two versions. One is a very fat version, the other is a smaller, which has a more like a summary or a gist. I think the summary would be more or less enough. Apart from that, newspaper articles on economic issues in the past would be really helpful. Economic survey, the budget, these things are important for paper two. And there are people such as Abhimanyu Gehlot, then Tejasvi Rana. These are successful candidates who have had economic optionals, and they have put out what they have read and some of their notes on their blogs. So I think this is also a very good source of information on how to prepare notes for this optional paper.
Okay. Arnak, what does matter more in economics optional, the knowledge and content or the style of writing, or both should be in equal proportion?
So I think the content matters more. I mean, in terms of how you put in terms related to economics, how you put in the diagrams. I think that matters. And for paper one, you have to be thorough with your concept. If you are not thorough with the concept, you will not be able to answer paper one. So paper one being technical, I think more than writing of answers does not matter much there. You have to be very thorough with what you have learned so that you can put it down in words. It does not matter how you write it, because the answers are basically model based. For paper two, the way you write answers matters, because it's more like a GS3 paper. So you might not have enough content, but if you are able to write the answers with good economic models as references, I think you are likely to fetch more marks.
Okay, fine. Now, Arnak, tell me one thing, that any fresher, how much emphasis should be given to the test series as far as this economics option is concerned?
So I think he should give a lot of emphasis, because it is a paper that can score a lot of marks, and it can actually pull him through. So I think he should focus more on that. And when you focus on economics, you can focus on your workload or for GS3, then for prelims, and for many other parts of the syllabus are actually reduced, because it will cover that part as well.
Okay, okay. Do you suggest any specific magazines or newspaper for this economics option, or this the Hindu will itself work?
Sir, as I suggested in the beginning, Mint is a very good newspaper that one can read. It's economics focused, so it's the editorials and the articles on the Indian economy and economic issues are very good. Economic Times is another paper. I think one of these two papers is more than enough. Apart from that, one should also read Yojana, because Yojana also talks about various like those issues that deal with economic aspects like the MPC, RBI's monetary policy framework, and all these things. I think would add to your overall understanding and overall approach to economics.
Okay, fine, fine. The last question to you, Arnayak. If anyone, normally
Yes.
the people in their final year of graduation, they decide to sit for UPSC. So will it help that if anyone decides to take admission in MA in economics for this UPSC particularly?
No, sir. I don't think it will help because the MA syllabus in any university in India, if it is a good department, I think will be very mathematical. Very mathematical. We are doing differential equations. We are doing determinants and eigenvalues and eigenvectors and all these things and econometrics, which none of which will come in handy for UPSC preparation. UPSC preparation, UPSC syllabus does not mandate such in-depth knowledge of economics, nor does it require you to be very mathematical in your approach while writing answers. It has to be slightly mathematical, but the level of mathematics that a master student does is very high. So I don't think that is necessary here. So and plus in masters there's a specialization, so even within microeconomics they'll specialize in game theory, they'll specialize in public finance and so on, many of which are actually not part of the syllabus in UPSC. So I don't think it's necessary. Only the graduation levels knowledge of economics is more than enough.
Okay, one more question, Arnayak. A question often comes that, say, a student is there, Mr. A, and he has to appear in the UPSC examination after 2 years, after 3 years, and he has decided that he is going for economics option. So, what the stuffs he should do to build the foundation of this economics?
So the basic, most important is that he should do it, like the graduation textbooks. He should be thorough in them. There is no alternative to that. And secondly, reading the newspaper, the economy sections of it. I don't think he has to read the main or economic times, but even like a normal newspaper like Hindu or Indian Express, they have the economy and the business section of the newspaper. He should read that every day and try to relate whatever he is from the textbook to that newspaper. That correlation he should be able to draw. I think that will more than be enough for him for the next 2-3 years till he actually appears for the exam.
Okay, Arnayak, thank you very much for your insight. Just a last word for the students who are going to appear for prelims 2020 on 4th October. 1 month is there. So what's your tips to them, since you have qualified UPSC 3 times, please, some strategy for them?
Sir, I think prelims is the most difficult for me. That is, I have always focused on prelims, and every time, unlike many other students who actually first focus on mains and then go for prelims preparation just before prelims, I have always focused on prelims first. So for one thing I suggest is that do as many test series as possible, whichever institute, whichever website you are doing from, that does not matter. Almost all the test series are of equally good quality, but you should do as many tests as possible. I think that is the biggest takeaway from what I have learned in the last 3 years. Do at least 100 tests so that you have a very good idea of how to approach a particular question. You know the art of intelligent guessing. I think intelligent guessing is very important. So you have the idea of intelligent guessing, and you also get an idea of how many number of questions you should attempt. I used to attempt around 90 to 95 questions, although I would know only about say 50 to 60 questions I would have know properly. The rest I would rely on intelligent guessing. So I think the more tests we do, now that we have already learned the things, we need to just apply it and to keep on doing it as many times as possible.
Okay. Thank you, Arnayak. Thank you very much. And we get to know a lot of things about UPSC. And from the entire team of GSS School, we wish you all the best for your future. And we wish that you become a wonderful officer for our country, Arnayak. And thank you very much for your precious time.
Thank you so much, sir. It has always been a pleasure, and it was a really good interaction with you. I also wish all the new aspirants my best wishes, and I hope I get to interact with them more in the future. And thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to interact with all of you. Thank you so much, sir.